Hi, everyone, and welcome to Empowering Exceptional Brains, the podcast where we dive into real conversations about neurodiversity, interviewing parents, individuals, and professionals to explore the challenges, strengths, and unique experiences of diverse learners and thinkers. I am your host, Maayan Glazer-Koren, an educational therapist, ADHD educator, and ASD certified specialist. Through my private practice, Educational Therapy LLC, my team and I support kids and adults with executive function and learning differences as they work toward greater confidence and independence. This podcast is a collaboration with Wiz Therapy, a platform that connects individuals with providers and helps businesses streamline their services to better support neurodiverse communities. Our goal is to share strategies, stories, and insights to help families, educators, and professionals understand and empower every kind of learner. A quick note, if you are ever concerned about your or your child's well-being or mental health, please reach out to your doctor or qualified healthcare professional for additional support. In case of emergency, please dial 911. For mental health crisis, please text 741-741 from anywhere in the United States. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Here is a quick disclaimer. The podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. The content shared on this podcast is not intended as medical, psychological, or legal advice and should not replace professional care from qualified healthcare provider or mental health professional. If you have concerns about your or your child's well-being, learning, or mental health, please consult with your doctor, therapist, or another licensed professional. The views and opinion expressed by guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the host or the podcast. By listening to this podcast, you acknowledged and agree that neither the host nor guests are responsible for any actions you take based on the information shared.
Hi, this time it's going to be only me. So, as you know, I am an educational therapist and I do work with clients in middle school and all the way to adults, including adults. And I also have two children that are 14 and 11. Um, and I wanted to discuss today board games. So you might be thinking board games. Aren't those just for snow days and family reunions when Wi-Fi goes out? Well, not exactly. Board games can actually be a therapeutic tool to support the nervous system, strengthen executive function skills, and build genuine connection with the teens and preteens that we work with, but also your own children. So if you have teens and preteens, play board games. So grab your dice, shuffle those cards, and let's dive in. Um, I did something interesting. I actually posted a question on social media and on the Facebook page, and I asked, why do you think playing board games with kids is beneficial? I'll give you a few seconds to think about your own answer. All right, got it? Here's what people said. It's beneficial because of it helps with creativity, problem solving, executive function skills, building connections, learning delayed gratification, strengthening social skills, collaboration, imagination, planning, strategic thinking. Oh, and of course, they're fun. So let's not forget that. Um, and my personal take playing board games with my clients and my own two boys, who are, as I mentioned, teens, taught me a few things. One is that I am way more competitive than I thought. Two, I don't like to lose, which I often do, especially when my clients absolutely destroy me. The card games, Distraction, Spot It, and Uno. Oh, sorry, also at Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. Turns out I forget things very quickly. Who knew? And sometimes I'm really having a hard time to wait for my turn, and I feel very antsy in my body. So I'm, trying to have an awareness for that too and just breathe and wait for my turn. Okay, so why board games matter for nervous system? So let's get a little bit nerdy here. And board games aren't just play, they are safe lab for the nervous system. When teens play game, a few things happen. We work on emotional regulation. If we're missing a turn or drawing the wrong card, it can trigger frustration, right? So practicing calm responses in these micro moments build resilience. We also have social engagement. So games demand turn taking, noticing social cues, and negotiating, all of which activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Let me translate it. It helps us connect. Stress and modulation. So high energy games can release pent up tension, and slower, more strategic games help anchor focus. So I'm a big fan of Stephen Porges' work, the polyvagal theory, and Dr. Porges states that play is a neural exercise where the brain uses the social engagement system to regulate the fight or flight response. So through face-to-face interactions or play foster safety and co-regulation, allowing individuals to experience a mobilized state without becoming overwhelmed by defensive reaction. You can also do that online, right, when you play face-to-face games. This regulation is vital for health, learning, and resilience as it helps the nervous system to downregulate older defense systems and engage in social behavior. Now, I'm not going to get into too much of Dr. Porges' work. I do recommend you to look at that. Um, it's great and it helps me and my clients to regulate their nervous system. So just to just to clarify, so games create a safe arena for emotional and physiological regulation. What about board games and as executive function workout? Well, now let's talk about executive function, okay? These are the mental skills that let us plan, focus, remember instructions, and juggle multiple tasks. So board games hit all of these. They work on working memory. So we need to remember rules, sequences, and strategies and apply them. Um, Inhibition, they work on waiting for our turn, right? Resisting an impulsive move. So it actually helps us slow down and think, right? And work on planning and strategize and organize. So it also helps with cognitive flexibility. So we need to adapt when our opponent pulls on a sneaky strategy, right? Or a sneaky move. With planning and organization, well, we need to map out our turn, maybe 3 turns ahead. In games like Catan or Ticket to Ride, chess, right? All of these games, um, we really need to kind of think about what we're going to do next. And again, be able to adapt if our opponent is doing a different move. So basically, every game, so every game night, um, or every game session is a secret brain workout without the boring worksheets, right, that we get from school. Okay, so let's talk about building a rapport. One of the most underrated benefits, how, is building trust. Many teens roll their eyes at traditional therapy, but invite them into a game and suddenly you are on a common ground. So it's great to help us connect because it let us meet our clients where they are. It helps us observe strengths and challenges in real time, and this is great for parents to do and kind of um, have like a mental note. Oh, I noticed that my child is doing this when we play this. It encourages collaboration and healthy competition. Um, and we can slip into some, conversations like, I noticed you got frustrated when you lost that round. What was going on for you there? Um, and just like that, you just open the door to deeper connection. And again, because it's regulating the nervous system, um, it's your child might feel more safe to share more information, um, or your client, right? So here is another like another tiny segment about why board games are beneficial. So this is great for tips for clinicians or parents. So, all right. So how do we actually use games well? It's not just about pulling a game off the shelf. It's about being intentional. And for example, not every game is the right fit for every child or every goal you're trying to do. So if a teen struggles with anxiety or gets easily discouraged, we want to start with cooperative games where everyone works toward a common goal. Games like Forbidden Island, The Story of the Three Coins, lower the pressure because the child isn't competing against you. They are teaming up with you. So it's like a teamwork. We are playing against the game. If you're aiming to stretch strategic thinking or frustration tolerance, so I would go for a more competitive strategy game like Othello or Catan. Um, the key is to match the tone of the game to the teen's current nervous system state. A stressed out child doesn't need a high pressure puzzle, right? They may need something silly and cooperative to ease in. I'm just thinking about a very specific one that I have in my office, which is Yeti Spaghetti. Really fun. You don't need to think too much. You just need to make sure that the Yeti doesn't fall into the bowl when you're taking the spaghetti out of it, underneath it. Um, Now, we also want to set goals before we play. So if you're looking at from more therapeutic place, we need to think about every game can support different skills. So we want to go with a purpose. If we want to work on nervous system regulation, we're going to choose a slower paced game where waiting, breathing, and self-regulation are built in. Maybe Monopoly, right? If you're working on social skills, we want to pick games that require teamwork, collaboration, or negotiation, like the story of the three coins that I just mentioned. If we're targeting executive function, we want to use games that stretch planning, memory, or flexible thinking. The same game can be used in multiple ways. For example, Uno can be about color matching for younger kids, frustration tolerance for teens, or working memory if we play with house rules. So it really depends. And another thing to think about is the brief. So the learning doesn't end when the game does. Afterward, take a few minutes to reflect together. And you can do it, when you play as a family. You can ask, what was fun for you when you played this game? Or was there a time when you felt frustrated? How did you handle it? Or did you notice how you planned ahead when you made that move? So when we debrief is where the kids start connecting game strategies to real life strategies. So patience, flexibility, problem solving, or teamwork. Without reflection, it's just play. With reflection, it becomes practice and helps them to be aware. All right. Games are most effective when they sit in the sweet spot, not too hard and not too easy. If a game is too hard, kids will shut down, get frustrated, or disengage. If it's too easy, they'll get bored and zone out. Think of it like a workout. The weights should be heavy enough to build muscle, but not so heavy that the person gives up. So we want to adjust by modifying rules, offering scaffolds, or teaming up. For example, in the play mastermind, in pairs instead of a solo, if somebody struggle with the logical of deduction. And most importantly, play along. Um, our children can spot a fake smile a mile away. So, I would recommend be mindful, be in the moment, put your phone away, further away from you, and just enjoy creating those memories. Okay, I do have some game recommendations. I do have way more games that in this list. And I would love to do a sequence if you're interested episode about video games because I do feel that they are beneficial too, with restrictions, and I can do a segment about it too. So here we go. Game recommendations. Okay, so grab a pen and a paper. Here are my go-to games loved by clients and my children. As mentioned before, Story of the Three Coins is a collaborative storytelling before the ink runs out. It has a gorgeous design. It looks like an old book. Creativity, teamwork. It works on adjectives. You can even do a writing session, like after you create a story or while you create a story, you can write it. It's really fun because you're going to have different stories all the time. None of them is going to be the same. Guess who? Classic, right? Great for language processing, elimination, right? Very strategic too. What am I going to ask? Um, Say the word. It's great for verbal expression and for working memory. Um, very popular game in my office. It's also, you can do that. So you get a card, you get a character, and you need to remember the words and you need to make sentences based on the words that you get, and then you don't see the words. So it's about retrieval and the ability to visualize, right? Am I visualizing what the story, what the previous sentence was about? And the character, you also need to make it in different voices. So you also get a card for how you're gonna retell the story, what voice, how you're gonna act it out. So it's really fun. Another great game, Who, Where, What. It's a drawing game where you take three cards and you need to draw it, and then your opponent needs to guess what were the words. So it's really funny. And for example, I had something in the lines of Mickey Mouse is playing soccer in the library, and then you need to draw it. Now, sometimes you get some cards and like, what? How am I going to draw it? So it's really funny. There are a lot of giggles when you play this game. Especially with my lack of drawing skills. All right, let's move on. Mastermind, great game. It works on logic and deduction, very strategic. Genius Square, it's a puzzle base for spatial reasoning. I also have a board game, a Tetris board game, which is fantastic. You don't eliminate rows, you actually build them. So it's a quick decisions and spatial planning. Uh, Great for also fine motor skills, I find. Um, Othello, old fashioned, right? Old fashioned, but a great game. Again, great for strategy and adapt and being like more adaptive to moves. Um, some there is like a new card game that is very, very popular in my office. Praying Mantis. It's a memory attention, quick reactions. You also steal from your opponents. You can also score. Really fun, beautiful design as well. Very quick game. I think it's about 5 to 10 minutes and you're done. Zeus and Deleuze. It's a math game, strategy game. Again, you need to steal Zeus from each other. Destruction is the game that I always lose when I play it. It's a math game where you pull out card and you need to remember the sequence of the numbers. So, but when you need to remember it, so that works also on working memory and retrieval, it happens under pressure because there are two cards, two piles, and um, another card will ask you questions that you need to answer, and that's really kind of the part of the distraction. And you can only say the sequence of the numbers when after you answer the question. And that's really hard, especially for me, because I don't remember the numbers. So it really works on also executive functioning. Are they chunking the numbers so they can remember them? You cannot write it down, so it has to be in your brain. Uh, Great games for pattern recognition and special foresight are Quirkle and Blokas. Um, and like mentioned before, Catan and Azul, great strategy games. Also Carcassonne for negotiation, long range planning, and efficiency. Catan and Azul and Carcassonne take longer time, so I would not play it in a session. Same with Monopoly. But the others are very quick games that you can play. Um, Finally, okay, bonus round. Are you ready? Ding, 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 ding. Finally, this one deserves its own category. Works on imagination. experiences. Uh, I'm talking about Dungeons and Dragons. So D&D is not just a game; it's an experience. It builds creativity and imagination, strengthens problem solving and strategy, teaches teamwork and communication. It encourages resilience when the dice betray you, and they will. It exercises executive function like memory and planning. It boosts confidence and self expression. And of course, it creates community and deep connection. So it's like a collaborative theater, problem solving bootcamp, and friendship building roll into one. It's a great game. If your child never tried it and they're interested, there are clubs in many middle schools. And I'm sure you can also find clubs in your area. Okay, we're about to be done. So here's the takeaway. Board games aren't just entertainment. They are a way to help teens regulate their nervous system, flex their executive function muscles, and connect with the adults who support them. So next time you tempt them to say, put the games away, it's time to get serious. Remember, play is a serious workout because it does work on so many parts of the brain. Thank you for joining me today. I think I'm going to name these segments Level Up. I love it. Okay, so if you try one of these games with your clients or kids, or you have recommendations for other games that you love playing, I'd love to hear how it goes. And hopefully my Amazon account will be okay because I have a tendency to buy so many games. Okay, so until next time, keep playing, keep connecting, and keep leveling up. Have fun. Bye.